My name is Robert Stewart, and I'm going to speak about an exciting opportunity in the mobile commerce space. Solely Local is poised to be a game changer for local small businesses by offering their mobile shopping assistant to both consumers and businesses that will help drive customer loyalty and generate revenue for businesses using the platform. The role mobile has played in our lives has been nothing short of extraordinary. In fact, 9 out of 10 individuals in the United States keep their phone within reach 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This has had a profound impact on customer smartphone shopping behavior. Consumers want new sorts of information, personalized to themselves. This is known as new mobile search, as opposed to the old search methods that have been used in the past. The major constraint for old search models is they are based on mobile web technology, while mobile app features are required to move forward. Old search is very rudimentary and relies on click throughs in order to trigger an action or conversion. New search provides the consumer with many different options and opens far more paths to trigger a conversion. Solely Local is a new search service built around a mobile shopping assistant model. In the physical world, you would expect a shopping assistant to answer most of the new search questions that arise. Solely Local will pull the consumer and local businesses together, providing up to date information for customers while sending them deals, messages, and special offers from their favorite stores and personalize the shopping experience. So, what exactly is Solely Local and what does it do? Simply put, Solely Local is an app that will be available to small businesses and consumers that will provide a plethora of shopping and service options to customers. The upside of the product to a small business is that it will offer an m-commerce solution in the form of an app that the business may not have had. This will give the business a fully functional mobile shopping platform. From a customer perspective, they'll have a full-blown personalized experience with thousands of local shops and services at their fingertips 24 hours a day, anywhere in the world, with the ability to search, interact, and transact with small businesses in the community. The revenue model for Solely Local can be described as action-based. This is broken into two key components that will generate revenue for the product. Undertaking a new search for local products and services is free to both businesses and consumers. Businesses only pay $1.50 if a consumer takes an action closely linked to buying or buying directly. Actions can include communicating and booking or entering the business as a result of a search. The second and most significant source of revenue is via proactive and highly personalized advertising based on the consumer's preferences, buying habits, and the areas they frequent. This approach significantly reduces ad noise for consumers while ensuring that businesses only pay for advertising to consumers that have a reasonable probability of buying. Ads will only be delivered once a day via text message, and businesses will only pay 25 cents if the ad is actually read. Proactive advertising and fees based on actions has two effects. Advertising is 10 times cheaper than old search, while increasing revenue per consumer by 10 times. Most businesses aren't aware of how much old search is costing them. Based on an average cost per click of $2.32 and a conversion rate of 2.7%, the effective cost is nearly $90. The cost of a Solely Local conversion ranges from $1.50 to $10 approximately. Old search economics is driven by the number of click-throughs the average consumer makes in a month. Solely Local proactively sends out ads, so it generates far more reads. For example, 4 ads per day becomes 120 reads per month versus the 1 read per month for old search. This greatly increases the likelihood of a consumer making a purchase for a small business. Mobile advertising is a very large market that is still growing exponentially. The market consists of 3 segments: national businesses advertising nationally, brands advertising locally, and local advertising being undertaken by local small businesses and directed at the local community. New search is being created around local and small businesses, and while the segment is currently the smallest, it is forecasted to grow at 50% per annum and reach $10 billion within 5 years. The major competitors in the mobile advertising space have grown with the national market and gained the local brand advertising market by default. As new search is introduced to new communities, brand advertising and small business advertising will tend to merge as more consumers become reliant on this technology. Solely Local is positioned to capitalize on this market coming together, which will equate to a $30 billion market by 2021. The core of Solely Local's business strategy is building one community at a time. Solely Local's marketing strategy follows the same philosophy. The aim is to outsource the selling to local partners who have existing networks of consumers or businesses or both, and to pay for the selling through revenue shares. This approach is possible, as we don't need to sell the advertising, but to only recruit the businesses who will use the advertising available to them. Similarly, we only need community organizations with links to consumers to make them aware of our new search app. The structure is designed around the typical selling costs in the industry of 50% of revenue. Solely Local will pay 25% of revenue to the group recruiting the business, 15% for recruiting the customer, and 10% directly to the consumer as a cash loyalty payment. The most significant partner will be the community newspapers, which count for 50% of businesses and 60% of consumers as clients. The next is a wider group of community organizations, charities, schools, sporting groups, which collectively count for the majority of consumers within any given community. In the mobile advertising space, there are a limited number of very large companies that have grown through providing national coverage to national advertisers. They aren't well designed for local consumers wanting to make purchases in store, which is the basis of new search. To compete more effectively in this new space, they will have to change their technology, move to direct sales within individual communities, and change their pricing strategy. The new entrants listed above primarily use location-based data to make existing display and search advertising more effective. They do little to support local search, in-store purchases for consumers, and the personalization data they supply to businesses is largely limited to location. The exception is Sedo Mobile, which profiles consumers based on the type of apps that they have on their mobile phones. The most important observation that we can make is that these groups are offering consumers very little. Small businesses are being pushed to develop mobile-friendly websites as a means to make up for the weaknesses of the online advertising model. When mobile advertising began, conversions fell by a third. They have only returned to online results by excluding a significant percentage of the 20 million small businesses in North America. Financial projections of Solely Local are based on expected growth within the local mobile space of 50% and Solely Local rollouts across the 15,000 communities in North America. Based on the combination of these two factors, Solely Local's goal is to grow at 100% per annum. As Solely Local's largest cost is marketing but is variable, Solely Local expects to break even within the first year and achieve $200 million in annual revenue by year 3. Year 3 is also an important point for investors, as this is when we expect to start the exit process. We will create a liquidity event for shareholders between years 3 and 5, with a plan to be viewed as a prime takeover target from one of the big players in this space. In addition to the $6 million already invested into the company, we are seeking $1.5 million, which translates into 15% ordinary or preferred shares for investors. There are tax losses available which will limit exposure, and residents of British Columbia will be eligible for the 30% tax credit under the Eligible Business Corporation Program, which significantly limits the risk involved. Once funding is received, launch can take place within 5 months, and we will have the resources to expedite the rollout phase if market acceptance is high in the early stages. Solely Local has an extremely experienced management team who has achieved a high level of success in different businesses and business ventures in the past. Our CEO, Gary Gilmore, is highly educated and has worn many hats in the business world. His most successful venture saw him take an industrial software company from creation through globalization and listing, and sold it at 150 times the initial investment for investors. As president, my primary role will be to manage the rollout of Solely Local into communities in North America and lay the foundations for future international exposure. In summary, Solely Local is positioning itself to become the premier mobile commerce solution for local small businesses and consumers. The mobile revolution is certainly not new, but as it continues to evolve, this technology will not only be something that every business simply wants, it is technology that all businesses will need. By forming strategic partnerships with newspapers and community groups who will receive a portion of revenue, Solely Local will make itself a must-have acquisition target for the major companies in the mobile advertising space.